Hi guys, it's Dakota. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, and subscribe if you like. I hope you enjoy the content. Give me a thumbs up and maybe a comment and say hello. If you already subscribed, welcome back. Glad you're here. I have something kind of funny today that I want to share. Oh, and let me just say real quick two things. One, if you're new here, you may not realize where I'm at and the background and all that. You'll have to look at some of the videos. I kind of do video everywhere. um, but I don't know if I've ever filmed here. I am in my living room. I'm sitting in my big fat recliner. And the reason why is I had not planned on doing a video this week. I have a ton of stuff on my plate, things that I'm working on, my own personal craft, my practice, my courses that I'm taking, my homework, and all of that. I also at my store we do classes, and a week ago I just gave the Reiki One Attunement class, all day class, so it takes a lot of time and effort and energy. And then we're having our monthly class this month, so I'm putting together the material for that. And also, just an FYI for those of you who may be curious, going to be doing a tarot course. Uh, April May time frame, and it's 13 weeks, so that is what it is. It'll all be posted on the shop page, which I'll link below. And so I'm just kind of like working through that, and doing a little bit of editing here and there. I've just been busy. Like, I've just been really busy. So I had just decided I do try to do videos once every 2 weeks, and sometimes I miss that, and it ends up being 3 weeks. But today I'm sitting here in my living room, and and the other thing, number two, is you're kind of moving a little bit. That's because bleh, that is because I am recording this on my laptop, and the laptop is sitting on my lap. So every time I move, the computer moves. So I'm gonna try to put my hands on it and keep it still. Um, anyway, the reason I'm here today, this is just kind of funny. I don't have any like witchy paraphernalia around or anything like that. So the scenery isn't great. I don't have, it is what it is. I just wanted to do this really quick because it just caught my attention this afternoon, and I thought it was really funny and fun, so I wanted to do it. Okay. So I came in here to eat some yogurt for lunch, and when I'm eating lunch, when I'm home alone and I'm eating lunch, I will get on the internet and I will read blogs that I've saved that I haven't read yet, books that I'm reading online, just whatever. Sometimes I'm watching videos, I'm seeing what everybody else is doing. So today I'm eating my yogurt, and I came across what I thought was a blog, but I don't know, it almost felt like it was a live thing, but it wasn't live, if that makes sense. But the person that had started it, there was maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 paragraphs, and then there was people that started commenting on what this person had wrote. So at first, that's why I'm saying, like, at first I thought it was live, but it wasn't live. It had already been done, and I guess it just saved or whatever. So, but the title kind of caught my eye, and so I started reading it. And the person was talking about how they were a witch and they practice witchcraft. That's what it was about. I mean, they didn't just come out and say, "Hello, by the way, I'm a witch and I practice witchcraft." It was just within this little, 4 paragraph thing that they were talking about. And they may have been responding to somebody else. Sorry, I hit the computer. They may have been responding to somebody else when they wrote that. I'm not sure. But what really got me was they had said, I'm a witch and I practice witchcraft. And, and I read it and I could kind of tell that the person was fairly new. At least I think they were fairly new just from what they were talking about and just how it was presented. Maybe not. I don't know. But I looked down and because it was like the first comment on this thing, the first comment said, "What is a witch?" And then, like, the next comment, and some of these comments were funny. You got to have a sense of humor. You cannot get offended about your path. You just can't. Some of them was really funny. Others I could tell were really making an effort to explain, what that was. And so they were being very, real about trying to explain what that was, thinking that this person who said, "What is a witch?" didn't know anything and had wrote that, but you could just kind of tell from the comments that that was just probably somebody being funny, being smart, or whatever, what is a witch? So they were all pretty funny. And then it started, and some of them were real snarky, and just silly things like this one person said, "Oh, I know what a witch is. A witch is someone who flies around outside on a broom wearing a pointy hat and a big black cape," or something like that. And and I'm just laughing. I mean, it was just really funny. So, anyway, then the comments just started to, drizzle out. And that person who wrote "What is a witch?" and it was a guy, um, wrote, "What is witchcraft then?" And again, people jumped on board and started giving, you know, their ideas of what witchcraft was. Some of them were really funny. Again, some of them were just really funny. Some of them were smart alecky. Some of them were, like evil, kind of thing. And but for the most part, they were really funny. Some did try to, I think, did try to describe it as if people really didn't know what that was. So, one of the comments when they talked about the person had put "What is a witch?" and one of the comments, or a couple of the comments, I thought it was really unusual because they had used like the same wording, and it said something to the effect that someone who has supernatural powers that can be used for evil or for good or for bad or something like that, but they were almost identical. There was three or four comments that had almost identical things. So what do? I go to Google and I Google "What is a witch?" and that's exactly what the little paragraph said. So they had, I think, had done that. They had gone in and Googled "What is a witch?" And that is what it said. As soon as I Googled it, it came up a little thing and it said, someone who has who believes, I'm not sure if it said believes, but anyway, has supernatural powers that can be used for good or bad or something like that. And so that made me laugh even more, because I'm like, they had to like Google it and, put it on there. And, and then I Googled "What is witchcraft?" And that was interesting because it kind of said the same thing. It almost mimicked, like almost exactly, "What is a witch?" And I went to like the very first site, and it did say on there that, or no, not the, yeah, I think the first site was the Merriam-Webster dictionary or whatever. I went on there real quick, and of course it went on and on, but it didn't define "witch" per se. It talked about the word and WICCE. Not sure how they pronounced it there, but Wicca is what they're trying to say, or the Wicca, something, not the Wick, the Wicca, um, or something like that. But it was spelled Wicce, Germanic, um, and then there was some other history kind of stuff in there, but it didn't really define, what a witch is. Um, and then, like I said, I googled what is witchcraft, and it almost mimicked exactly, what a witch is. So anyway, so I, I went back and I read through some of the comments again, and what the person had originally wrote, and I really got a chuckle out of it. And one of the reasons I was getting a chuckle out of it, because I said, well, Dakota, what is a witch? I asked myself, well, what is a witch? Like, can you define that? And I started laughing because, in my store, for those of you that don't know, I have a metaphysical store. And in the store, we get on occasion uh, i- people that are curious seekers, or else they're coming in with their friends who are pagan or spiritual or whatever you like to call that, and they're just tagging along with their friend and looking around, and then they'll come up and they'll ask me. They'll say, "So, are you a witch?" And my response is always, what does that mean to you? Like, what is a witch to you? And usually they're like, I don't know. And I have to agree with them because um I mean, what is a witch? I don't know. Is someone who has supernatural powers? What is supernatural power? What do you mean? No, I can't fly around on brooms. I can't. Oh, that would be cool if I could, but I can't. Um and back in the back in during the burning times and all of that history, I mean, if you were a midwife, if you were cheating on your wife, if you were, if someone was sick, had a bad cough, and you garden, which a lot of them did, they were self-sustainable, um, would go out and pick elderberries and make a tea or a cough syrup for the person that was sick. Well, then they were a witch. I mean, so everybody was a witch, right? Everybody was a witch. So you can't define it. Like, you can't define it. I mean, does that mean, oh, you're trying to heal this person, you're trying to help this person, you're a healthcare provider, so then all healthcare providers are witches. Your doctor is a witch. I mean, and things like that are going through my head because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and I cannot define witch. What does that mean? Would I make elderberry syrup? Yeah, I sure would. I would. Does that make me a witch? I mean, not necessarily. Grandma would make you you know, chicken noodle soup if you were sick. Does that mean she's a witch? You know, maybe in my case it does. No, I'm just kidding. Um, so it was really, really hard for me when I was looking at that and going, huh, that's weird, because that is my response when people ask me, are you a witch? I always reply, what does being a witch mean to you? What is the word witch mean to you? And if that person says it means like putting spells on people and, doing stuff like that, well, I mean, could I? Sure. Could you? Sure. Because like, I have a friend that, not anymore, but I had a friend that made pottery. Nowhere close to being friends, or I'm sorry, to being a witch, which is why we're not friends. There you go. Um, because they found out. Weird. So we're not friends. But they're a phenomenal. They make pottery, beautiful pottery, bowls, vases, uh, little cute statuey things, not pagan by any means, like little cutesy, I don't know, fairy type things. And not fairies, but just things. Um, well, that's their craft. They craft. They're a crafter. and they're not pagan, they're not a witch, they're not any of that side of the house whatsoever. To the point that we cannot be friends because of that, which is, it breaks my heart. It's very sad. But when I break that down, that this person does pottery, they work with clay, which comes from the earth. They have to have water to get the clay wet so they can mold it, water, earth, water. And then, the drying technique, and then they have to fire it. You have air, fire and air. So, like, hello, you're working with all of the elements. You are crafting. Isn't that is that witchcraft? Um, I know someone that, again, is not of the pagan mindset. Pagan being the umbrella term, um, who makes wax candles, handmade drip wax candles, tapers, and dripped. And guess what? And they sell them. They sell them on Etsy. All different sizes of these drip candles. Beeswax, I think they are, probably, most likely. Um, but guess what? So do I. And sometimes I might put oil in mine if I want it scented, and maybe I'll put some herbs on it. Just, maybe lavender because it's a stressful day. I want to take a bath. I want to have a nice hot soak bath. I'm going to light just a lavender to make you feel good. So I'm going to light the candle. Maybe I'll put a drop of lavender oil in the tub, and just lower the lights. Maybe put some good classical or good, soothing music on. Oh, well, yeah, because you're a witch, but you do the same thing when you get home. You go in and you do a yoga, and at the end of your yoga, you do a meditation before you get into your tub and light your candle because it's just lowers the light and it helps you relax. So what I'm saying is, what is witchcraft? That's what I'm saying. What is witchcraft? You don't have to be a witch to craft things. I make a lot of things. I craft a lot of things. I craft candles. I craft oils. I make things. Now, I add, because of my spiritual beliefs, I add things like oils, like herbs. I like to make my own incense. Um, I like that thing. I like that type of stuff. So, yes, so I do that. So is that witchcraft because I'm a witch? Um, what about the person that absolutely would never, does not identify with witch whatsoever, but they do all of those things as well? It just makes you wonder. And we can go back to the old, and I know most of you have probably heard this at some point when it comes to witches and witchcraft and stuff, because we kind of learn it in basic witchcraft. A lot of the books, your beginner witchcraft books, have something similar to this. When you turn 1 year old, your mom has made you a cupcake or made you a little cake and put that candle in there, lit it, and blow out the candle, blow out the candle, because they're too young really to make a wish. But when they get to a certain point, you tell them, close your eyes and make a wish, and then blow out all the candles. Sound familiar? That's not witchcraft. But, you know, if you come into a metaphysical store and get a candle and either put some essential oil on it because you just kind of want to, have some good smell about what it is that you're doing, or um, you put some herbs. It's for a friend that's in the hospital, and so they need some healing, so you might some relaxation. They're depressed, so maybe use some lavender, some chamomile, something that just really that an herb that grows in your garden that you buy at the grocery store. I guess they're witches. Um, and you just kind of, put it around the candle to kind of, because it's for healing. So then as you're a witch, as you light the candle and you pray that your candle, that your friend's surgery goes well, and we kind of do something similar to that. I mean, so the thing with that video, or not that video, the thing with that blog that I was reading, or the thing that I was reading, was that what is a witch and what is witchcraft? Because curious minds want to know. I don't think that just witches have the power to do bad things. Hate to tell you. There's a lot of people on the news. They do bad things. Not witches. Are they? I mean, I don't think so. You know? So people are capable of doing good and bad. And, uh, you know, so if it's your belief system, so you believe that because somebody is a witch, that they're bad, they're an evildoer, but you can't define that. Like define witch. You can't define witchcraft. Um, I've heard people use the scenario that witches believe in or work with a particular uh, entity, thing, deity. I just don't want to say it here on YouTube. You know what I'm talking about. Uh, and and maybe some do. Maybe some do. Um, but that would be on them, and then they would be an evildoer, just like somebody else who went out and killed the guy across the street. You know what I mean? There's good and there's bad in everybody, and so, and I don't want to get. That's not what this is about. This truly was about this whole commenting thing about this person who I assume was uh, quite young at what they're doing, just maybe a beginner, hasn't been doing it very long from what I was feeling from reading that. And everybody, it was really entertaining. It was really funny. And yet it was thought provoking. So there you go. There you go. It was thought provoking, at least for me. And so I'm going to close the video right now. Again, I'm just doing it because I don't know. I hadn't done a video. I hadn't gotten anything ready for a video, and I thought, I'm just gonna put this out there because I'm thinking about it, and it's funny, and see if anybody else out there has the answer. um, and I don't know. We'll just leave it at that. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different than what I normally do, and but it was just for fun. And for me, it was for contemplating, thinking about this. See if I can't define it in a more logical way, at least for me. And yeah, so that being said, I will see you next time. Have a good week. Enjoy life. Have fun. Be kind. Be kind to yourself. And I'll see you next time. Love you guys.